Welcome to the MMA Roadshow, episode number 591. My name is John Morgan, and Cold Coffee is with me. We have relocated today to a different part of the estate here. We are now in the greenhouse to record. We have changed the recording studio and relocated into the greenhouse of the estate here.
Just feel that nature just blossoming around, blooming.
Fantastic what is going on. No, listen. Cold Coffee has been expanding his horizons, his interests. If you're a long-time listener to the show, you know the estuary that's outside now.
Is that what it's called?
I believe that's like a bird sanctuary. It's an estuary, I believe.
Sounds good.
I might be making
that was like an aviary or something?
Aviary? Maybe that's right.
Something like that. Estuary is something.
I think that's probably the wrong one. Anyway, a bird sanctuary outside. You've got a ton of bird feeders, and you enjoy your bird watching, and you've seen how the community has grown.
I'm growing the plants to support them. I got different trees. Well, they're all mainly about the hummingbirds. Sorry, the other birds. I just love the little hummingbirds. I was just out there watering them earlier today.
So he's done that, but now you have taken the game to a next level, because now it is no longer just enough to have a few plants outside, to have a couple of feeders. Now we have taken to like sustaining substance. You're trying to grow food for yourself.
Yeah. So I got some seed starters, and then I've started some different plants, some different tomatoes and peppers and tomatillos and some others still to come. But yeah, I mean, it's funny. I already kind of liked it and wanted to try to maybe mess with it. And I think it was just recently when all the explosive diarrhea stuff was going around, you started hearing all these other people say, man, we should grow our own shit. And I was like, dude, I've been kicking this idea around forever. I was like, let me just do it. So I had ordered already, because I was trying to think about trying to do it, some seed starters, and got some seeds. And I swear, like, after I put them in there, I was like, I asked my other friend who grows up, I was like, do you find yourself like just staring at the dirt, looking to see if something sprouted up every morning? She's like, oh, yes, that's part of the journey. And so I've been watching these things sprout, and it's been amazing. So fun, man. It's a learning process, you know. I mean, granted, you know, just by seeing this does not mean I have a green thumb. There is still the part of them getting better and then actually translating to the sacks that are me outside.
But I love when you get involved in something that you just go all in. Like, bro, I wish everybody could see this right. If this was a video podcast, I would certainly be turning the camera, because, you know, it's one thing to be like, you know, in your head, you're probably imagining like he's got a couple little orange clay pots, like little tiny little plots with seeds growing. No. I mean, this is like horticulturist at its finest. You've got full trays with lighting over the top of it
on a 12-hour on, 12-hour off cycle.
Of course, as you would, of course. This is amazing.
It's
I see some type of spray right here.
Well,
I guess that's
because they said that
pouring water would be a little too harsh.
You can make it too damp, so then you could just mist it, or you go through the bottom. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
When do you start growing weed, by the way? That's definitely that. Like you're about to be off the grid over here, man.
I'm telling you. Well, I'm about to be off the grid for sure in a couple hours when I go camping.
Look at this
guy.
But
this is.
Are your plants going to survive?
Yeah, because this is getting into the nerdy part of it. You know, underneath these trays, you could put this felt pad. And so you put water down there so it holds water. So actually, as the soil can help pull water up from things, so it maintains itself. But also with these lids, it maintains the humidity. See the drips?
Yeah, I can see a little.
Yeah, so it stays sort of moist. So it just helps keep the ground moist.
Incredible.
And stuff. And it's only a few days, so.
Incredible.
In worst case, I could ask my pet, sir, can you check the seedlings? She's already like, bro, you have me do so much shit. I'm not going to look at your seedling, but. I bet, you never know. She might have a green thumb herself. But no, it's just another fun little thing to do or whatever.
I respect it. Like I said, when you go in, you like do research. You make sure you got the right equipment. You know, some people might just like, I'm going to give it a shot.
I'm just going to throw some seeds and hope for the best.
You put some effort and time into it, man. I respect it.
I hope. Well, if it reaps the benefits, besides my little care package that I'm giving you, I'll give you some kale one day. It's lacinato kale, the one that I'm going to plant, which is a good type of kale. If you have never had lacinato kale,
fantastic.
It's better than the regular kale.
That's great. Well, listen, we got plenty of MMA to talk about, but you touched on it. You're going camping. I want to throw it out there. You and I are both very big proponents of the city of Las Vegas.
Yep.
You and I are huge fans of living here and seeing the praises of things. Again, I enjoy the Strip. I love the Strip.
Sure.
I love all the stuff that's down there. But when you come here, there is other things to do once you get that out of your system. And I bet there's not a lot of people that think, I bet people in Las Vegas, they go camping sometimes. It's not like you're driving, it's one of I'm driving 10 hours and I'm going away.
I mean, you can do that, but no.
But that would not be a local adventure. But you're driving.
It's an hour.
An hour away. Camping up in the...
it's like 8,700 or something feet. So the elevation gets up there quite a bit. But, yeah, the temperature is going to be easily, like, I think it said tonight it was going to be maybe 70s or something like that. But I think the high is like 80 or something.
Right now we're 105,
It's
108.
ridiculous. It's easily 15 to 20 degrees cooler. And you're around trees and just the nature and the view is just beautiful up there. But, yeah, it's incredible. So, yeah, I'm just looking to get away and, it's funny. I'm going to say disconnect from the internet, but I'm bringing my iPad. I'll watch some movies. I'll read books and whatever. But, it's like one of those you're maybe going to get a cell reception and maybe not. And it's just like, hey, that's okay. And it's only a couple days, so it's not like I'll be, having withdrawal or whatever.
Again, this man is going camping and he's got like a solar-powered power bank to charge his iPad and his phone. You got like
I could literally, I'm actually bringing my regular coffee maker because I could power it off of this power bank. I could power my CPAP. I could do all this stuff.
Amazing.
And then during the day, I'll charge it, and so I'll use it, and then at night when it's running for the fans or whatever I need, then in the day I'll just charge it with the solar panel.
That's awesome. I'm telling you, man, you get the gear, you get the toys, you get all the stuff.
I mean, if I had the money, I'd get like a little RV or a little camper van, but, I'm not opposed to the tent camping, but my tent will have an air mattress inside of it,
Nice.
like I'm not young enough still to do the camp on the ground thing. Like we did that when we were kids. And now it's like when you become an adult and you got some adult money, you buy a fucking air mattress.
Yeah.
So.
Do you, when you're out there in the wilderness, do you like check email and social media and stuff like that? Or do you try to like.
Again, I don't even know it depends on if there's cell reception. I might, if somebody pings me or whatever, my phone will let me make calls because of the T-Mobile. It'll let you do like the satellite. So if there's an emergency or whatever, but, I envision I'll just be reading and maybe just watching some of these movies, catching up on some stuff.
Look at that.
Cooking out,
just
whatever. Just disconnect for a little bit. But, I mean, if there's downtime and you pick up your phone, if there's a little bit of reception, I'll probably go onto the social media or something. But, got to take a couple pics for the gram.
Got to take a few pics for the gram. It is pretty up there. For people that's never seen it, like you, it's cool. I always say, for like us, not for you as a parent, but me as a parent, like you can bring your kid to go see snow and stuff. That may seem like a dumb thing, but you grow up in the desert. Your kid doesn't see a lot of snow. During the winter, you can go up there and you can let them roll some snowballs and throw at each other.
That's a good idea putting it out. Like if you've ever been here when in Vegas visiting and you look off into the mountains and see where the snow is way up on the top, that's roughly around the area where I'll be at.
And you
just keep continuing higher. And you can actually get to where they actually have snow stuff up there and cabins and stuff and whatnot. But this is just one of the multiple campgrounds that are off to the sides on various other ones. But yeah, it's amazing. I'm looking forward to it. I'm so excited to get out there.
I know how excited you are to get out there, man. So that's why we got together a little bit early in the morning on a Wednesday so that we could knock this out. So Cold Coffee could go head off into the wilderness and reconnect with nature, even though it looks like nature's reconnecting with him right here at home with his greenhouse. Listen, we had some UFC. I want to talk about that this past week. We'll preview a little bit about what's coming. I did want to shout out real quick CFFC 157. Fun card. If you didn't get a chance to check out the replay, definitely do so. Sarek Shields got promoted to the main event, came in and upset Manny Morales. Just was a dominant grappler in the fight, and actually talked to him out. He had a ton of arm triangle chokes, and he just couldn't finish them. I talked to him after the fight, and he was like, dude, man, he's strong. He's like, 95% of people I grapple with tap out to that. He's like, I can't believe he didn't. But Sarek played spoiler that night. Tyler Berger got another win over a very, very dangerous Christian Carr. I like Carr's style a lot, but Tyler Berger, 4 straight wins now after losing his opener via split decision to Jeremiah Delgado. He's got 4 straight wins. Former 3-time All-American, U.S. national team wrestler. Big win for him there. So those were the featured fights. Replays up on UFC Fight Pass, 6-bout main card. You can also check out, of course, the prelims on onlyfans.com/CFFC MMA or on the CFFC YouTube channel as well. Some good fights on the prelims as well. And Tavon Thomas, Abraham Charles had a really good fight in the lone pro fight of the prelims. But I will point out, if you're looking for prospects like next level, haven't even made their pro debut yet. Go check out Joey Milano's win over Jesse Pastor. Joey Milano was already a 190-pound champion, and he was going to defend his belt. His opponent on fight week asked, like, hey, man, I'm not going to be able to make 190. Can we move this thing up to 197? We talked about it going in. New Jersey does the boxing weight classes, so there's a lot more options. And Joey just, without hesitation, said, absolutely, let's move it up. And then he had a second-round TKO and just looked great. Joey Milano has had a couple wins for us. He's 8-1. I think now he's number 1 ranked in the nation by Tapology at both middleweight and light heavyweight.
That's cool.
As a prospect. So keep your eye on Joey Milano, man. Some bright things on the future for him. So that was CFFC 157. Did have one frustrating thing, and that is we lost our main event on the day of weigh-ins.
That's a bummer.
Bummer, man. So really, really gutted, man, because Christian Bobby versus Abdulsamad Malikanov was our main event, and Malikanov came in the morning of and was 10 pounds heavy for a featherweight fight. And for Bobby's come up as an amateur through CFFC, as a pro through CFFC, his entire professional career for CFFC. He's grappled 5 times for CFFC BJJ. I mean, this dude is around the organization, right? Like, he's earned a spot. This was his first main event, his first title fight, and, you know, the morning of, you find out that your opponent's 10 pounds heavy. And to Christian's credit, man, he was like, let's go. I'm in. Let's do it. Whatever we got to do, let's fight. You know what I mean? Like, I came here to fight. Let's do it. 10 pounds. Doesn't mean nothing to me. We were like, all right, we'll just make it for the lightweight title, and, you know, we'll go from there. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And then his team, including Dean Thomas, John Marquez, obviously 2 veterans of the game, were like, listen, man.
Slow your roll.
10 pounds.
That's
you know what I mean? It's a lot. You know what I mean?
And you know he's going to hydrate bigger than the 10 pounds. I mean, he could easily be 30 pounds fight day.
So it's like, look, this is the biggest opportunity you've been in. I know where you're at, but you're young. You got time on your side. 10 pounds is not – this is not 1 pound. It's not 2 pounds. It's 10. So how does he recover? And you know, I understand that. You know what I mean? Like, you totally – like, I think it still would have been a competitive matchup, but I get it. Why do you risk that? You know what I mean? So we'll get him rescheduled ASAP, but it was a bummer. But I just wanted to give a shout-out to Christian Bo, because while ultimately he did turn down the fight, I will tell you that it did not happen without a lot of people around him saying, slow down, young man. Think twice about this. And ultimately, I mean, anytime somebody misses weight by that much, obviously they bear zero responsibility whatsoever to whatever happens to the fight. So it was unfortunate, but it did happen. And like I said, we'll get him. We might, in fact, I was actually, right before I came over here, we were having some conversations. I might have some news, fingers crossed, very soon about what's next for him. And it could be part of a very exciting card for us coming up. So
very cool.
CFFC 157 was fun. This was crazy. So I don't know why. The flights home were like insanely expensive that day. So normally I'd take the first flight out, but it was like literally, this is no joke. Like, when I went to book my flight, taking the first flight home in coach was like $1,600.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, what? Like, that's not even, like, is this real? Is this a typo? So anyway, I ended up taking like a 10 p.m. flight. All good. Hung out with Rob Haydak the next day. We got some work done, all that. But I was exhausted by the time it was 10 p.m. because I didn't sleep much on the night of the fight and all that. Anyway, I get to the airport, and there were some delays at the airport. So we didn't end up getting out till really late. But it was bad because I was boarding at like about 10 p.m. I was boarding, and I was sitting in my seat, and as I look up, and I see Lillian from the UFC and Alexa Grasso, and I'm like, I was like, at first I thought I was delirious. I was tired, had a couple cocktails. I was like, is that who I think it is? And they started walking up close, and I was like, oh, it is. I'm like, what's up? And I'm like, what are you doing in Philly? They had been up in New York for the Fanatics Fan Festival.
Oh,
that big thing.
Yep.
And I guess weather delays and stuff that was on the East Coast, man, they were supposed to have already been home already. And
so
they got
them
shipped down,
Philly.
had to go through Philly.
Wow.
Yeah, we ended up not getting home till like 2 o'clock in the morning. But it was funny because, obviously I still travel quite a bit, but I don't see my old UFC crew anymore. It's now just me.
And then randomly
like
on that where they got
felt like old times. Like, here we're not even going to the same. Like next, or on the August 14th week, I'm sure I'll see some people because I'm flying from Vegas to Philly and Philly back to Vegas. So, the week that the UFC's there. So I'm sure I'll see some people. But that was, for a moment, it was a little, especially given the fact that I was on like 2 hours of sleep maybe and a couple of cocktails. It was a little bit like, am I imagining all this? But it felt like old times.
Yeah, that was when I came back from Washington. Since I was flying, I think I flew Southwest, and it was like I think it was a middle of the day time or whatever. So I was like, I won't see anybody on this. I literally All the commission guys were on that one, a bunch of the corners, some operations guys, and I was like, "Yep, this is what it feels. This is what it used to feel like when you saw half the people on the flight." Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's so funny. All right, talk briefly about what unfolded in Oklahoma City. I got to give a shout out to Fatima Klein. You know, I'm always going to be a CFFC homer, but to
she
me,
looked so good,
bro. That to me was like the performance of the night. Man, it shouldn't even get a performance bonus. You know what I mean? Like. A little bit bummed to see that, but I thought that was like, and the type of performance, because I've been singing her praises for a while now, saying like, man, I think this girl might end up being the best fighter that's ever come out of CFFC. Like, she's that good, and you know, she's shown it. But I feel like this was the moment that everybody else realized, like, oh, this girl is a legitimate title contender.
Yeah, I think if she would have got that finish, I think she probably would have got a bonus. But I mean, it's tough. Like, very rarely do we see the women. I don't think it's by any particular decision that they're trying to do, or whatever. But I feel like they already are kind of fighting behind, the typical trend of who usually gets the bonuses.
It's true.
So unless they get that really definitive finish, I think that then they're like, okay, that really stood out. Because if it's another fight where it just goes to a decision, I think a lot of times they just assume a lot of the female fights are going to go to decision.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the ones that get the, either a quick finish or let alone a knockout that have themselves a pretty good chance. But it was such a dominant performance. I mean, it doesn't help also that her opponent is the boyfriend of like Dana's poster child Zuffa boxing guy either,
You're right.
So that probably didn't help the fact. And then she was out there like she was swaggering. I mean, and after she did a couple of suplexes and then like
that was great,
looking at Hunter and wagging her tongue and
all
that
awesome.
Shit, I was just like, she's doing all the right things that if a dude did it, he would probably then call out for the bonus and get it, like when Tommy last event, I can't remember if Tommy got one for this one or not.
For this one he did, yeah, Tommy.
And he got the last one, the one before that,
Dude,
the one before he asked
life.
for it. But like he that was a pretty impressive. I really enjoyed what he was able to do out there. But everybody on our Slack channel after Fatima's performance, I mean, people that knew Fatima before that, Nolan King, myself, some of the others were like, she's going to win.
Yep.
We picked her on the staff picks. There were still some people I think that did pick Ricci, but understandably, I mean, she's a tough opponent. But we knew what she was capable. And then when she went out and did it, even in the Slack channel, people were just like, dude, she's going to be a future champ.
Yeah.
And so even on the SBC, they brought up her performance, and all of the panel guys, when asked, do you think that she has potential or could she be a future champ? All of them said yeah. So
I love it.
So I'm glad that they're recognizing how good. But yeah, that performance was incredible. I mean, it was the best that I personally have seen her dominate somebody, let alone somebody that highly ranked in the UFC.
Agreed.
I mean, it was she looked like she was fighting a weight class lower than her. She was so strong. It was ridiculous. But and yeah, her striking and just other stuff, her swagger, and then she's just great on the microphone too. I mean, she's
solid.
Has all the things right that at this point, if she keeps fighting like that, I don't see why she can't fast track to a title shot.
I think so too. And she's still so young too. I saw a lot of people coming out right after saying, "Yeah, but she'll never beat Zhang Weili," and maybe right now she won't. Maybe that's the case. I mean, Zhang is one of the greats. There's no question about it. But Fatima's 26.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I wouldn't quickly just dismiss that. I mean, like, as much as I think Zhang Weili is the real deal, and we know how strong she is, but she's not unbeatable.
Agreed.
I mean, we've seen technical people give her a lot of problems, and Fatima's very, very technical. She's very smart, and she moves really well. That would be a fun match. I wouldn't want to see it right away. I would like to see her have another great performance where we know that she can fight those high-level opponents like that and doesn't get caught up in the moment, just to maybe give her that little bit of experience. But she ain't far away.
I agree.
She's not far away at all. I mean, I give her another fight or two and then definitely give it to her.
I agree, man.
I'd be interested.
I love it. That was great. And then that was the high of the night for me for sure. I was super fired up about that. Obviously, the Tommy McMillan Alberto Montes fight was just fun. You know what I mean? Those dudes were going at it, and that was exciting. Was happy for Chase Hooper, even at the detriment of Mitch Ramirez. I know how much that meant to Chase Hooper. I guess the low for me was definitely Ezra Elliott getting the decision over Damian Anderson, and not so much just because Damian Anderson came up short, because Ezra Elliott is a really, really good fighter. I'd actually been trying to bring him to CFFC as well, because really, really talented athlete, and his track record speaks for itself. But just because I feel like that performance for Damian Anderson wasn't indicative at all of who he is as a fighter, right? I mean, you step in on short notice, you're up a weight class, your opponent misses weight. All those things are true, but, once you agree, you agree. There are no excuses, right? Once you say yes, you say yes. If it's short notice, if they miss weight, whatever. So there are no excuses. And I know Damian wouldn't make any excuses. I just feel bad because if there was anybody that was watching him for the first time, I don't think they got the full impression of how good that guy can be, and I think there's better days ahead for him.
So Ezra missed weight on that?
He did, yeah.
So did they did they agree to go to featherweight bout?
So it was going to be featherweight regardless.
Yeah.
Because it was such short notice, right?
Okay.
But then Elliott came in at 147.5, so he even missed weight for the new weight class.
I don't see it marked on.
Did they not really?
No, and that's why I was just like, okay, maybe something messed up. I don't see it marked on Tapology. That's why I was like, okay, did they change the weight class or whatever? Interesting. Maybe it was just the way that I'm trying to go back into it just to double check. But yeah, it didn't show it as a weight miss. But
yeah,
still,
so he was 47.5, and so but again, Elliott. So Elliott has a lot of experience at bantamweight, but he also did some featherweight and even in a 40 catchweight. So I don't know if that's ultimately going to be his home or not. But obviously, wish Ezra Elliott nothing but the best. Like I said, that guy is a ton of fun to watch, and I'm a huge fan of the MMA Lab. Man, I love the Crouch and Benson and all those guys out there. So wish their team nothing but success. But I don't know. I just felt bad for Damian Anderson because I feel like people didn't get the full impression of who he is as a fighter.
And I thought the Delgado Bashi fight was a really good one. I thought that Austin's going to learn a lot from that fight. But Jose, man, credit to him. He looked so much bigger on the night too in his range. I thought he used his range really good, but he wasn't afraid to get in the throw. Austin was trying to throw some big punches and try to get in there, but he did a really good job of, keeping that distance and really landing some good shots. I thought that was a really, really good performance by Delgado. I really enjoyed watching that. I picked Bashi in my staff picks. Luckily, it's in the prelim, so it didn't go against me. But because I think that kid is very, very talented. I think he has future potential to do really, really well. But this kind of reminds me of when you start seeing these hot items, these kids that are very talented come up, and then you start putting all this weight into them, and they run into a guy that often people are like, oh well, I know he's good, but maybe this kid's just going to be too much. But he was like,
nope,
don't fucking overlook me, dude. And he looked really good. So I have to give Delgado credit, and that was bad on my part to think that it wasn't like I thought he was going to get smashed, but Bashi's legit, So I was like, okay, that size difference was legit too. I mean, I didn't realize it was that big of a size difference, but Delgado, man, he looked huge compared to him. But I thought that was an incredible performance. I really enjoyed watching that one as well because I was like, is Bashi going to bring him back? Is he going to do something? But I was like, Delgado, just incredible performance. But yeah, it was really, really good. And Barbosa, man, that was the one you see that the rear naked choke, that photo of where Melisano's going out and she's just kind of hold on. I was just it was I don't know. I've seen so many different memes that you're just you never want somebody to be a meme,
right?
But credit to Barbosa for just doing some incredible shit and getting it done relatively quickly in that fight. So
let me ask you one question I had after this fight card was over. Like I said, I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was a good fight card, exactly what you expected from a fight night. But I got done and I'm like, what does Usman do from here? What does Kamaru Usman do from here? I don't know, man. I struggle to figure out what I would tell him.
I don't think that's the right weight class for him.
I don't either, man.
I like to see him getting fights or whatever. He's good, but I don't. I mean,
right? It just felt like the size was a huge factor in that.
Yeah, his wrestling's not going to work against bigger dudes that have some sort of a wrestling defense.
Agreed.
And I think maybe his striking's okay. I mean, it's decent, but I mean, it's not as crisp as some of the other high level guys. That when you start getting that, when you're going to be at the top of where they want him to fight, it's going to be tough matchups all day long. And I would hate to see him, take some bad beatings. And his face was showing the wear and tear by the end of that one, as well. And it wasn't like Dricus was just teeing off on him. I mean, he was doing some good things, but I don't know. I just don't know if that weight class is good for him. And But I mean, it's tough. It's tough trying to go down too. I mean, as these guys get older, they want to go to the bigger weight class because it's easier on their body, and I mean, it's easier for them to perform. But it's going to be tough. If 170 is not doable for him anymore, then I'm fine with him staying at middleweight. But you got to take reasonable opponents at this point. I don't think he's a top 10, top 15 middleweight just with the size difference. And I mean,
I agree.
You have to. It's hard because you have to shut down, the past accolades at a different division, and it's hard to separate that. I mean, he will still have that skill, but I don't think he's ever had a win at that weight class. This is just too big. I mean,
I think so too. And I look at matchups like, obviously Hamzat, we saw. I mean, obviously he did do well in that late, but we've seen Drickus now. Nasruddin Imavov is not an easy matchup. Joe Pyfer, maybe. Pyfer, you'd say I've got better wrestling than Pyfer, but Pyfer hits hard, man.
He hits hard.
And he's got decent defensive wrestling.
I wouldn't be opposed to seeing that.
But I can see that. But like Brendan Allen, Kyle Bohio, Anthony Hernandez, I think those would be difficult matchups for him because of the grappling strengths. Israel Adesanya, I don't think he would fight.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
I mean, I think stylistically that's probably a better matchup for him because he would hold the grappling advantage, right?
Yep.
And then by that time you're already down to, and I'm looking at the meta rankings. You're down to Gregory Rodriguez, maybe Christian Leroy Duncan.
Rodriguez would look huge compared to Usman. Oh my God, he does not want to take those shots.
Yeah. So I don't know. I kind of with you. I think 170 is probably the better path for him. But I definitely don't favor him against Islam Makhachev either. But I don't favor anybody against Islam. And maybe Islam leaves, or maybe Ian Machado Gary wins. There's options.
I mean, there's always that possible. I mean, I mean, nobody wants to push anybody out or whatever. But at some point, I mean, if he's happy knowing that he's getting fights, and he will be a gatekeeper. He will be a guy that tests these guys coming up to see whether they're worthy of being in the top 10, but he'll.
And I don't know if he's.
I don't think he'll ever.
I don't know if he's okay with
that's
that.
The thing. That's the thing.
That's
if he needs the money and he needs to provide, I can see whatever. But nobody wants to take those beatings because they're getting harder and harder on his body.
I think that's the part that I'm confused about because I'm like, and I like Usman a lot. Remember all the days when people were talking trash about him. His 30% thing was completely taken out of context, and Dana screwed that up. And it was my interview, and I felt bad about it all. But I've just always liked Kamaru Usman. Obviously, Dallas ties, and we've just hung out and whatever and crossed paths over the years. I like the guy. So I'm not trying to rush him out at all, and I would never rush anybody out. But knowing him, like there's some guys that are like, no, I think my championship days are behind me, but now it's fun fights. Now it's, what interests me. I don't know if his mind
Veterans
works
Tour
like that.
Or Legends Tour,
the Legends Tour,
Masters Series, or whatever.
We've heard that, and I just don't see him as that guy. Like I feel like he's like, if it's not for a Tyler #1 contender, like, doesn't interest me. You know what I mean? And I may be wrong in that, but I just feel like that's the way his brain is wired.
I mean, didn't he take the gloves off after this? And a lot of people were wondering if they were going to hear something.
I think he takes his off. He's one of those guys that takes them off all the time.
All the time?
Though, I think.
Yeah,
I have to go back and look.
People just paid more attention to this one because I think a lot of people were thinking.
There's certain guys that do take off their gloves all the time because they want them off as soon as the fight's over, and because they force your hands to bend and all that.
Yeah.
So people don't like them. But it's funny because people forget that and they always jump to conclusions. But
well, after the performance like this, I mean, certainly people are like, it could be fitting. I know a lot of people are wondering, and even in his post thing, I forget the actual words or whatever, but there was, I think he even mentioned there's some things we have to think about, or talk
Agreed.
about or whatever. So I think there are some discussions that need to happen and what makes sense for him, and have those discussions with his family, his team. That understand his situation. But, I mean, obviously, we'll root to see him in there again. But, I want the matchups to be beneficial to him
Agreed.
As well. I don't want him just taking a fight.
Hey, check out this 10-0 kid off Contender Series is 25 years old and has 10 first-round knockouts.
Like, and is an absolute Hulk of a dude. No. Then it's maybe not the case. But who knows? But like you said, he's always been good to me when I've done interviews. He's always been fun to be around on fight week and stuff. But it could be it's time to definitely consider those those days of do you want to keep doing this? You know, did you do enough things to prepare yourself for the next thing? And if that's the case, I mean, like, he's a smart dude. He could be one of these guys that could switch over to an analyst role. You know, I mean, like, there's definitely options out there, I think, for him. But again, you know, we've seen lots of guys that, you know, I can only imagine the what you have to take to put yourself in a mindset to do this sort of work, and then to get in there and fight somebody as a job and have an entertainment factor to it where they're enjoying it. Then to step away from that, how do you fill that void? You know, how do you know, is commentary even going to be enough? Is coaching off to the side ever going to be enough to scratch that itch? You know, and you know, those are, I think, the tough discussions he has to have even with himself. You know, like, you know, is this still fun? Am I still enjoying this? Can I replace this with something else? Is it still worth it? I'm sure once you get those dollars in the bank, it helps a lot.
That's the hardest part.
But when you're only getting half of the paycheck, normally that starts to that probably starts to help that decision.
True,
you know?
But when that half a paycheck is still more than you're getting doing anything else, that's the thing. It's the most you can do on one night. You know what I mean? You're not going to find another job that's going to pay you that on one night other than getting out there and fighting. So we'll see, man. I feel like he's in a weird spot right now, so I'm anxious to see what's next for him. And obviously he knows he's closer to the end than he is the beginning, but I'm with you. I think there are still some meaningful fights out there for him.
I mean, Cannonier's in the same boat.
Cannonier's definitely in the same
Except that's his division. I'm not saying that he needs to go another division, but that's another gentleman that needs to start having those thoughts as well, you know.
It's unfortunate, man.
That was a tough loss. But we said it before, going into it. Duncan is the real deal, man. Like, that dude is tough. It's so silly when you're listening to the commentary team. They're just like, stop trying all that spinning stuff. He's just throwing all this stuff. I'm like, he's got energy, he's got speed, he's got skill. So he was going for the big flashy sort of knockout. But then when you go back and you watch the slow-mo highlights and you're seeing all these jumping, flying knees and other stuff, I mean, the kid's electric. So, I mean, if I could do that stuff, I'd probably be trying to do a lot more of it as well. But good for him to get that unanimous decision over Jared Cannonier. That's a great win, great feather in his hat. But yeah, it's another tough one for Cannonier. I mean, it's tough to see these vets that we've been following for so long starting to get to the point of the career, but we've seen it over and over and over and all these years, you know. But it's at that point where I'm sure he's having those thoughts as well, you know. You know, when you've covered this sport for over a decade, you know, we see how many dudes have we seen get to this point.
Yeah, he's 42. You know what I mean?
It's not young.
It's not young.
It's not old, but it's not young.
It's not young. I mean, his body, like, physically defies aging, it seems like. It's funny to think about his career, man, because you're right. It does seem like, obviously, he's close. I mean, he falls to 1-4 in his last 5, with the one win being that insane fight with Gregory Rodriguez.
Yep.
And again, the people that he's lost to, I mean, Nasruddin Imavov, Kyle Ohio, Michael Page, you know, Christian Leroy Duncan, not among those, but a guy that's on his way to that. But it's just, man, when you think about Cannonier coming in, and I was just looking at when was the debut? January 2015 against Sean Jordan as a heavyweight, of course. You know, fought his first couple fights as a heavyweight.
Crazy.
And then, I know,
I forgot
two fights as a heavyweight, then makes the drop to light heavyweight, and we're like, yeah, this looks more like a spot for you. Like, light heavyweight, definitely better for you. Had some setbacks there. Again, only elite level competition he lost to: Glover Teixeira, Jan Blachowicz, Dominic Reyes. I mean, only the absolute best of the best. And then decides he's making the move to middleweight. And I distinctly remember going, how is this dude going to make middleweight? And damn if he didn't, man. And again, you look at the losses along the way, before the ones I just mentioned, Robert Whitaker, Israel Adesanya. I mean, the dude has fought the best of the best. And
Dominic
yes, he's
Reyes,
generally come up short.
Blachowicz,
yeah.
Glover Teixeira.
It's insane,
outside of
man.
the Sean Jordan. Even Sean Jordan, I mean, you know, I'll give Jordan credit.
Sean had a little run.
He had a little run. Like, those are incredible fighters that he lost against. Every single one of his losses is against a legit-ass fighter. But yeah, to think that he's 42, he still looks incredible, and he's still doing well, and he would mop the floor against both of us at the same time. But still, it's like, it's a tough division. It is a tough division, but
intimidating dude on top of that. He was always a fun interview because you didn't want to annoy him because he would let you know that he was annoyed.
Yeah.
And I remember, I'll never forget him
Killer Gorilla start coming out.
I'll never forget him doing the crystals out on the beach. Like, I was out there at Fight Island. Like, I was out there. I think me and Jose Youngs were standing next to each other, talking to each other, going like, what what's going on over there? And he was like in the octagon with his crystals like soaking in the sun.
That's
you don't remember
awesome.
all this?
I remember.
They ended up showing, because they ended up showing it like on the countdown or whatever. But yeah, like we were out on the beach. I think it was like during that transition, there was always like, one set of fighters was leaving and the other set of fighters was coming in. That was kind of the day to hang out and relax a little bit. And I remember just like that octagon that was out there that, wasn't really there. It was there for decoration.
Just
more
for decoration
than anything.
and like a promo.
No, he had gone inside and had his crystals that were soaking up the sun and was meditating.
I'm all about
the
stones and the crystal. That's my stone and crystal case right there.
Bro.
Right next to the garden.
Right next to the greenhouse. He brought in his crystals. And,
there are more stones than crystals. Some of the crystals are elsewhere.
We bring any crystals or stones out to camping?
I thought about it.
Take in some of that mountain energy?
I thought about it. I got some of my bracelets. I'm going to take one of my other ones out there. But yeah, I might take something.
Amazing.
Taking my guns with me. I'm for sure taking that.
So don't roll up on Cold Coffee's campground unannounced is what we're saying. Because that man has a right to stand his ground. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, to be in nature, you got to be what can help you in nature.
That's honestly that I'm not. I'm not a big.
We're not bad out there.
Firearms guy.
There's like mountain lions. That's about it. But they're more scared
protection.
They're more scared of you than anything else out there. I don't envision I'm going to be doing much hiking. I'm just going to be doing some cooking and maybe get some beers and whatnot. But still. I usually, when I go out in the outdoors, always have something. Gotta have something.
Should you wake up at 6 a.m. on Saturday morning and you find yourself itching for a little bit of combat sports, you could turn on UFC Abu Dhabi because it is getting started early. You're gonna be gone all week. Saturday.
No, I'm back Friday.
You're back on Saturday.
I'm back on Friday. I'll be here to watch.
So I know you've been busy packing up for camping and planning and all that, but have you seen that the way the day set up? If you want to, you can watch the entire UFC Abu Dhabi card. And then take a little short break, and then jump into the PFL Washington, D.C. card.
Look at that. And PFL Washington card's not bad.
It's not bad at all, man.
What time does this one start?
6 a.m.
Oh,
our time.
my goodness gracious. It really does.
So it says 6 a.m. our time for the prelims, 9 a.m.
I'm all about it. I usually get up at 6 anyways, or a little bit before to go get my steps in. I can maybe miss the first prelim one, come back and watch fights, and then watch fights.
Bring it on your phone or something while you're getting your steps.
Never mind. I guess I won't miss.
There you go. Got a little bit of all of us. You got that, and then you can come back at night for PFL. PFL is good. PFL, dude, look, we know the PFL is in a transformation period. By the way, great news that they're going to be working with Ryzen, and there's going to be a double championship fight there. I mean, that's cool stuff, I think. You know what I mean? Like trying to make something happen.
Yeah, you wonder how involved that will be. I don't know what the full details of it. It's just a random thing every once in a while. I mean, like we saw the Bellator versus Ryzen before or whatever, and I thought that the whole lead up and the fight week stuff was really cool. Just the visuals of it, that whole thing was a lot of fun. But it makes you wonder. I mean, how much will we see? But I'm all for them reaching out and doing this cross collaboration thing. Access to different fighters. Growing the brand in another area that is so in tune to Ryzen and stuff. So I'm all about it. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I agree. I like the fact that they're trying it out and they're doing something.
Yep.
And again. We'll see what all because you're right. I mean, obviously, I initially start going to, or I should say, I immediately start going to logistics. How does this work? How's it really? You know what I mean? Like, okay, now what happens? Does the champion have a contract with you if he wins? Does your guy have a contract with them?
Yep.
Are they obligated to defend this title, or do they just kind of drop that title? You think about all those things, and then I start to remind myself, you know what, man? Let them figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's just sit back and have some fun and be like, yo, this is cool that it's happening, and let them figure out the minutia and all the details. Let's just enjoy the fact that we're going to get to see this. So, good fight on Washington, D.C. Thad Jean versus Shamil Musayev. Thad Jean I'm really, really high on. Have been for a while. You've seen the kind of maturation of him.
He's legit.
He is. Now he's got a very, very tough fight.
Another very, very legit dude. Yeah, this is a really tough fight.
Shamil did lose last time out before Ramazan Kurmagomedov ended up retiring afterwards. So that was kind of a weird situation. But a big, big opportunity for both these two men in the main event. Tyson Pedro is back.
I was going to say, you got to talk about Tyson Pedro?
Got to talk about Tyson Pedro being back. Obviously, things didn't go his way last time out. That was a very, very tough matchup. They brought him in against Dovlet Yakshimuradov. That was a very, very tough matchup. I don't know exactly when he added the kangaroo paws nickname, but I guess I'm for that. Anything Tyson Pedro wants to do, I'm down to watch.
Hopefully there's a equally cool walkout song to match the kangaroo paws.
That guy had some of the greatest walkouts.
So
man.
good.
Loved his UFC run. Sultan Kali against Rasul Magomedov is a big fight as well. and there's some solid matchups up and down. Ernesto Rodriguez has had some big success. He's going up against Aaron McKenzie. But I like what they're doing, 9 to 10 fight cards now, not like a 17 fight, like Bellator used to do
UFC,
back in the day.
pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. When we've had fights drop off and it's gotten down to like the 10 or 11, it always feels so much better at the end of the night when they don't have to. I mean, granted, when they used to have to drag things out due to broadcast obligations, it was like, man, we could have been done so much quicker.
Yeah.
But when they are able to kind of get through things and go, and the pacing just stays good, that's such a nice sweet spot. It's funny when they did the White House, we're like, yeah, 6 or 7, that sounds amazing. Can we just keep that? But there's a lot of fighters that are trying to get some money.
That's it. That's the only thing is because I do get it, and trust me, man, like I get it. Asking someone to sit in an audience for 7 hours is a lot.
It's a lot.
But I do always remind, and you touched on it right there, just remember, when you say you want shorter cards, that means less opportunities for people to fight, less opportunities for people to get paid, less opportunities for people to advance their career.
Yep.
So I don't know what the happy medium is. It's almost like, this sucks when you start getting in the weeds, but then you think like, well, this could never work because of the logistics of like renting venues and shit like that. But like maybe like the Apex, like dude, I would have no problem watching like 5 UFC fights every day of the week. You know what I mean? Like a 2.5 hour show every day. Now again, how would you build people up? How would you know what I mean? But
it would suck having to go to the Apex every day.
It would have to be the Apex like every single day. Like I'm never seeing my family.
I'm like, just give me an equipment locker. I don't want to have to keep bringing my shit here and set up. Can I just?
Oh, you got to roll in with the cart and everything.
Give me a spot.
But yeah, I don't know. But I mean, I feel like there's something to be said for like, hey man, I would watch a little bit of this every day, but to watch 7 hours of it in one sitting is tough as you get older. You know what I mean? As you have more responsibilities and that sort of thing. Again. Not complaining.
Yeah.
There's worse ways to make a living. Just saying, as a consumer, like as somebody who gets paid to do it, I'll sit there for 7 hours. Don't worry about it. But just as a consumer, it's like, well, if I could get it in a little bit smaller doses, like an NFL game is like 3 hours. I watched, man, I can't even, I watched so much of the World Cup. You know what I mean? And those games are like 2 hours. If you go an extra time, maybe you go a little bit longer. So I don't know.
How many floppings did you see?
Oh man, I can't even defend that. I can't.
It was ridiculous.
In the very beginning of the tournament, they were really kind of honing in. I mean, there was an early yellow card. I want to say it was like game number 1 or game number 2, where it was like they gave a yellow card because they went to VAR and saw that somebody simulated. They took a dive, so it's like, nah, you get a yellow card. And I was like, bravo. But then as the tournament goes further, they kind of dialed it.
I mean, there was a couple legit shots where I saw dudes, but then there were others where I was just like, you got to be ashamed for yourself. I was like, after watching the sport that we watch, and people are like, oh, is it real? Is it not? I'm like, are you kidding me? And then you see a sport like this when it's like, why aren't you questioning whether that's real? When the guy did whatever and he's grabbing his elbow, it's so. Just like,
it's funny. Like
it's so off-putting at a point where I'm just like, I can't help but laugh at these dudes.
Even my wife would be like, she's like, the girls don't do that. What's up with that? You know what I mean? I'm like, I can't argue. And I get the whole like, hey, it's a big field. There's not many officials, so if I can help, gesticulate to sell this a little bit.
No,
so that
I definitely get what the thought process was.
But the diving, it is such a put off. That I wish and I wish they would change the offsides rule to make it more lenient on strikers versus that like 2 frames over.
Yeah,
you're definitely offside. Like, I don't like that, man.
Yeah, because it stopped the action a lot of times when you're just like, and it was like, really, just because his shoulder was a little bit forward or whatever, and like I'm just like, you're killing it.
If I'm not wrong, I think hockey defines it the exact opposite way. That like as long as any part of your body is onsides, then you're onside. Like obviously,
I think
in hockey they use the blue line,
but I want to say it was still. Maybe it's half or something.
Half? I think they should.
I'm always confused as well when it comes because I'm trying to. This year I was actually trying to be better and watch it because it was just so confusing. But even the part I was like, how everybody has to sort of reset it once it kind of leaves the blue line area or whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm finally paying attention to what's happening, but I'm still like, it just slows the sport down.
If you trust Google, like a quick Google, I just whatever the first thing that came up is. Offsides is just strictly by a player's skates, not their stick. A player's onside is as long as at least one skate is touching the blue line or the neutral zone.
Yeah.
Right. So
his body can be like
it could be a little. Yeah. It's like
if that same thing was in soccer, you would have so much more action.
Like if I'm dragging 1 foot behind and I'm even, I'm on. Like that it just encourages
Or
more
if you're
offense,
so much
encourages
faster,
more
say
breaks.
you're so much faster and just your speed that you could be literally side by side, but when we burst, my initial burst is going to get me 3/4 ahead of you, and my foot could still be back there from the starting point, but the rest is like a sprinter start or something.
I would like
ahead
to
of
see
you.
that, man. What would be bad? And I know, look, there's always going to be people, especially in a game as old and historic as soccer.
Yeah.
There's always going to be people that complain about, and I get that. But man, who doesn't love offense? Who doesn't love goal? Like, in a soccer, goal is exciting, man.
When the skill comes out, when you see the ball bend, you see the moves, you see the passes, you see the way they communicate, and they set stuff up, then you're like, okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
And then you watch somebody flop down, you're like, all right, I'm back again. I'm back. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, somebody go really hit that dude or something. But yeah, I know we got sidetracked talking about.
The World Cup was big. It
was
had
huge.
the world's attention. It just ended.
I certainly found myself when it started getting further on. I was like, okay, I'm watching.
Ratings were good here. I saw the ratings come out the other day. I think it was like 35 million in the United States for the final, which wasn't obviously the most exciting final. It was tense, but not the most goals.
I mean, I thought they did pretty decent. I'm interested to see what people thought about the fact that this was the first time they did the halftime show.
Oh, every purist hated it.
I bet they did.
Every one of them hated it.
I bet they did. I was surprised when they did some of the lineup. When I saw BTS come out, I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. I thought Justin brought it down with his choice song.
He did bring it down.
I was like, bro, what a fucking
about?
downer. I was like,
Me and my
it was a
family were
very
watching
nice,
it.
emotional song, and his voice sounded good, but I was like, bro, you fucking killed the mood. And then they had to try to bring it up with Shakira after that, and I was like, you should have went from BTS to Shakira and just skipped fucking him. But
I look, and I get it.
I thought it was decent. I thought it was,
I get it why all the purists hated it,
performance.
but to me, and again, it's probably because we grew up watching the Super Bowl, so we're used to a halftime show, the biggest show of the year, or whatever. And I get it, trust me, because I like watch soccer analyst programs and things like that. Like soccer really is my second favorite sport. Like I watch more soccer content than anything outside of MMA content. And I get the people that are just old school. They're like, no, soccer was meant to have this amount of minutes in the play and this amount of the timeout and this in your like, bro. It's the biggest game of the year.
It's the final game,
circumstance,
and not even of the year.
Fun.
It's going to be another 4 years, right to the next one. Let the guys rest a little bit longer. And it wasn't like it wasn't even that much.
Yeah,
I mean, it added for sure, but I didn't feel like it was like egregious. Like, oh, you just gave. Now they're cold.
Right.
I don't think they were cold.
They're the world's. I mean, they're the best in the world at what they do. Like, let them deal with it. You know what I mean,
bro? Give them a time. There's plenty of time to run and flop more.
Mixed martial arts. Mixed martial arts athletes have to not even know exactly when they're fighting, right? Unless you're kicking off the night or kicking off the main card, you got to stay flexed because this dude could end in a minute or it could go decision. So I don't know. It's not that big of a deal to me. The hydration breaks was probably more of a. And
I didn't realize that was like a thing. I didn't even know that was like a thing because it's like only 20-some minutes into it or whatever. I was like, they already need a break.
And they've done it before. Like if I remember right, I can't remember if it was Brazil World Cup or South Africa World Cup where they first instituted it. Probably would have been Brazil when I remember them doing it for the first time. And they do it in some league games and stuff when it's really,
but they don't
really
do
hot.
them in normal matches though, right?
They don't. They do it in certain times when it's really, really, really hot.
Yeah.
But I guess what FIFA said
that makes
was,
sense if it's really hot or
but
whatever.
Then people were like, in fact, the leader of the Spanish league came out the other day. He actually called for the FIFA head to retire and to step out. But he was like, bro, in Dallas, LA, Atlanta, he was like, I had to put like a sweater on in the stands because I'm cold. Like we're indoors in the air. He's like, and we're taking hydration breaks. Like, come on. But FIFA's position was, if we're gonna do it in some games, we gotta do it in all the games, right? We can't do it one, which is fair too. So anyway, there's your World Cup talk. We'll check back. We'll check back in 4 years, but I do enjoy the World Cup. All right, real quick, we'll just go through UFC Abu Dhabi. Look, it's a card that makes sense in Abu Dhabi for sure. A lot of names, that are central to that region over there. Obviously, you understand anytime you see an Abu Dhabi fight night come together, that's what you're expecting. We do have a replacement in the main event. Bogdan Guskov steps in to face Magomed Ankalaev on very, very short notice. I did see Bogdan's media this week from over in Abu Dhabi, and he's saying all the right things, right? He's saying everything that you should say, like, hey, man, it's not really short notice. I train all the time. This is what I do for a living. I'm always ready, et cetera, et cetera. All the right things that you want to hear. And I believe him. Like, he does seem like that kind of no-nonsense guy, like training all the time, ready to fight all the time. But it's just a tough call against Magomed Ankalaev. I know people like to trip on Ankalaev, but like, he's really damn good at what he does, and my pick is Ankalaev here.
Yeah, I went the same. I mean, as much as I like Anthony Smith,
it is a striking similarity between those two.
It's always so funny when that gets thrown around a couple times during the fight week or whatever. But no, I mean, Goose Coffey's a good fighter. But yeah, Ankalaev, he's a really good striker, good size. It should be a lot of fun. And he's been ready for this. I mean, he was already planning on fighting and, rather short notice. I mean, most of these athletes, just like you said earlier, you never know when you're really going to get a chance to fight. Most of these athletes are in the gyms, might as well be fighting. So the fact that they can get a short notice fight and step up and
get paid for it,
like why not? Especially without all the stress of like 8 weeks of like worrying about a person over and over and over. Just like, oh, you're good? Can you make weight? You ready to fight? Cool. Go get a paycheck.
Let's go do it.
So, and let alone hop in on the main event. So good for them.
Big opportunity for him.
Big opportunity.
A couple other matchups I'm definitely looking forward to. Maybe not necessarily I'm looking forward to, but pay attention to Rizvan Cunha versus Tyrell Fortune. I mean, that's a big fight at heavyweight. You know what I mean? And Tyrell Fortune, from not being in the UFC forever and like grinding away and toiling away, man, he wins this. He's in a very, very good position there. So, interested to see that one.
It's a tough fight for him.
It's a very, very tough fight for him. But if he can find a way, I mean, there's an opportunity. There's some fan favorites for me. I've always been a big Cody Gibson fan. He's got a tough matchup. Mike Davis, I feel like, is perennially underranked and underconsidered and underrespected. He's also got a tough matchup against Nurullo Lee. They're not doing anybody favors. I mean, Santiago Ponzinibbio is back. They're not doing him any favors against Sam Patterson.
Tough.
That dude's a problem as well. Dustin Jacoby is there. I think Dustin Jacoby always brings it. He's got a tough matchup. Walter Walker is back. Something weird's going to happen there with Walter Walker, no question.
I have a feeling it's going to be an ankle lock.
He might be able to pull one of those off. He knows a little something about going for the legs, so that would absolutely be crazy if he could get a nut. Can you imagine? I mean,
and especially
already
if it's like
4 heel hooks in a row is crazy.
Especially if it's like a different version that we haven't seen or something.
Because
the dude said he had like double digits
of variations
that he could do.
That would be nuts.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
4 in a row is crazy. 5, I mean, you start talking about like some of the weirdest streaks ever.
Thomas Peterson thinks that this is going to be a heavyweight slug match.
Right.
And this is not going to be a slug match. Walker literally now I think he's on a mission to just get as many in as quick as he can. It's his thing now. I think he like dived in the last time. And it somehow got right into it and it was like done in moments. So ridiculous. But yeah, that's a tough match. But no, I mean, he's fun. He's fun on the mic. I mean, it's cool when you go out there and you talk a little and then you're able to deliver something quickly, and he's been able to do it. But yeah, I mean, it's a solid card.
It's fun.
It's a good card.
This is typical of this card. And again, I think it happens a lot with some of these overseas cards where it's like maybe these are guys that you don't recognize their name right away, or they don't fight all the time, or they only fight in these times so that like maybe you don't usually watch the Abu Dhabi cards because they are so early in the morning. Yep. You know what I mean? Or maybe it's so like I feel like when people just kind of scan the names, they go, oh, I don't know about this card. But when you really get into it, I do believe this is going to be those cards that when we get done with it, we're like, okay, had some fun with it. Like, bro, that was entertaining.
And it starts so early. You could literally still have your day left to do stuff later on. Like I'm good. And like, come on, East Coast. It's 9 o'clock your time. We'll be watching at 6 a.m. You'll be okay.
It. Coffee first thing in the morning, bro. The fights right away just before I get started. Unbelievable. So, all right, listen. So another a little bit early delivery here of the MMA Roadshow, but that's because Cold Coffee is gonna head out into the wilderness.
Yeah, gotta pack my stuff up.
Don't creep up on his campsite. If you are looking for Cold Coffee,
message me first.
Reach out to him ahead of time. Don't just show up unannounced and expect a warm welcome.
I'm trying to get away from stuff. You bring me something. You got to answer to it.
I saw a sign the other day that was like, due to the rising cost of ammunition, we don't fire warning shots.
Oh, I was like, that's awesome. I like that. I like that.
That was a good one. So, anyway, hopefully everybody enjoyed us getting together a little bit early in the week, and Cold Coffee can enjoy his vacation. Hopefully, all his the greenhouse. Hopefully, the staff takes care of.
Yeah,
you got a lot of living things going on here.
I love it.
You got a lot of living things. Appreciate it. And we'll be back together at a normal time next week. I said August is going to be a really, really busy week, or busy month, I should say. So we'll get together on a lot of Tuesdays in August, but for the rest of this month, we'll be around. So we'll get together next Thursday as normal. Maybe have a few cocktails or something. I don't know. See what's going on. Since you're not heading out I don't know. We'll see what's going on. I did go to the doctor this morning. He recommended I probably have a few less cocktails. talk about that.
Well, just on Thursdays. Just on that Thursday.
We'll talk about that another time. I like that. I know, Doc. That's not new information. I appreciate it. Anyway, we'll talk about that another time. In the meantime, thanks for listening.